She woke to the taste of blood on her tongue and the metallic bite of cold air. Her wrists were bound, the rope digging into her skin, and her vision blurred from the blow that had knocked her down. Around her, voices in a language she could barely understand barked orders, the guttural sound echoing off the broken walls of a ruined farmhouse. She had been captured, dragged deep behind enemy lines where no rescue would ever come. Or so they thought. Before I tell you what happened next, tell me in the comments where you're watching from. I love knowing who's listening. Her name was Elena, and until that night she had believed fear was something she could master. But now, kneeling on the dirt floor, she felt it surging through her veins like a second pulse. She thought of her brother, the last words he had spoken before she deployed. "Promise me you'll come back." She had smiled then, but now she wondered if that promise had already been broken. The men argued in harsh tones, deciding her fate. Some wanted her alive for information. Others laughed as they toyed with her knife, mocking the soldier who dared cross their lines. Elena sat silent, her breathing steadying. She knew fear could sharpen into something else, something dangerous. Night fell heavy over the farmhouse. One by one, her captors grew careless, their guard dropping with the weight of exhaustion. The rope around her wrists loosened as she twisted, inch by inch, until finally it gave. She slipped free, her hands trembling but steady enough to reclaim the knife they had left on the table, too arrogant to think she'd ever use it again. Outside, the wind howled against the shattered windows. Every step she took was calculated, deliberate. She didn't rush. Hesitation meant discovery, but impatience meant death. When the first man turned the corner, she pressed the blade to his throat before he could cry out. His body crumpled silently, swallowed by the darkness. She didn't relish it. Each strike tore at her soul. But survival was no longer a choice. It was AVOWWY dawn. Whispers spread through the enemy camp. One by one, their men were missing. At first, they thought deserters had slipped away under cover of night. Then they found the bodies. Fear rippled through them like fire through dry grass. The prisoner they had mocked was now a shadow they couldn't see, a storm they couldn't stop. Elena moved like the wind itself, slipping between ruins, striking with precision. Every face she remembered from her capture, every laugh at her expense, was burned into her mind. But she wasn't hunting for vengeance alone. She was carving a path back to her own lines, step by bloody step. And yet, amid the chaos, she faltered. When she cornered a boy, barely old enough to shave, his rifle shaking in his hands, her own heart nearly stopped. He was terrified, eyes wide, whispering for his mother in the same language she had heard used in hatred hours before. Could she strike him down the same way? Or would sparing him cost her freedom, even her life? The knife hovered. Her hand trembled. And in that moment, she made a choice, one that would weigh on her forever. She let him go. The boy fled, and she knew he might alert the others. But something inside her had shifted. She could survive without destroying everything in her path. She could fight without losing herself. That be why the time Allied soldiers stormed the village 2 days later. Elena was no longer the trembling prisoner they had imagined lost. She was standing tall on the ridge, exhausted but unbroken, her uniform torn, her face streaked with dirt and resolve. The men who found her whispered in awe, realizing she had done alone what whole units sometimes failed to achieve. Because courage doesn't vanish, it waits. And it finds its way back. And though she had begun in silence, bound and helpless in the dark, she ended with the dawn breaking behind her, a reminder that even in the deepest shadows, light still fights to return. That if this story moved you, share your thoughts in the comments and let me know, what would you have done in Elena's place? And if you believe in stories of hidden courage and the strength of the human spirit, make sure to subscribe. There are many more waiting to be told, and I'd love to share them with you.